don't erect hurdles. Because we have persons out there who have this mantra that if we can't make it together, let's lose it altogether.
Right.
Let's perish as fools. If we can't make it as brothers, let's perish as fools. And so my understanding is that if you can't really offer solutions, then don't erect hurdles.
Absolutely.
Don't erect hurdles.
Yeah. I think we do a lot as human beings sometimes to discourage others. And we say, oh, it's never going to work. You know, when somebody talks about, I want to be able to do this, I want to do a great thing, and somebody says, oh, absolutely, it's not going to work. People are not going to, endorse that. People are not going to, well, that's great if you feel that way.
The negativity,
yeah. How about you sit in the corner and then allow somebody who has that will and desire to actually go ahead and try?
Yeah, sure.
We shouldn't be stumbling blocks.
Stumbling blocks, sure.
And at the same time, you don't listen to all the negativity that you hear. Just go for it. You never know.
Yeah.
As they say, shoot for the moon, you could land on the stars.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, it's a great one, I think. We're able to get through that this morning. All right, so I want to say hello to you guys. Like I said, our live streams are up across board. And then being able to say a big hello to you, Karibuni Sana. And getting into the Situation Room this Tuesday morning. A lot is happening. And there's a lot of buzz about, about town. But let's say a very good morning to you as you're tuned in today. And yes, we see you on X, Karibu Sana, thank you. And this is the thing that people do, I guess for the millionth time after the 7th year, no, we don't play music on this. Is talk radio completely. And so we have conversations around certain things and the entertainment comes in different forms. So Karibu, and thank you. So, are you tuned in? Where is it that you're tuning from? Let us know. We'll say a quick good morning to you as you get into the room this morning. Karibu Sana. Then as you do. All right. Kiaria Peter says, good morning, tuning from Mombasa. And you say, a high income doesn't make you rich. What makes you rich is your ability to manage and grow your money. It's ability and not what you actually have. Okay. Evans Dande says, good morning, tuned in from Brongo. Great, Ochanda. The Great Ochanda is what he's calling you.
Yeah, the Great Ochanda.
You're even agreeing.
Great Ochanda. Yeah, I'm a prince. Come on.
Oh, sorry.
That's my crown.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Kimiak says, hey, Yawa, the link delayed Kiasi, but you're here and you said nothing good will come out of the KK government. That's your mantra. You're not letting that one go. We've got it. Leo, hello, Princess Ndu. Good morning to you. There's a prince in the house as well, so say good morning to Prince Alan Ochanda. And I don't think he's joking about that. Robertson Burger says, good morning, tuning from Mombasa. And Dr. Venvik is also tuned in from Tudor, Mombasa this morning. So I know I say Tudor, but it's Tudor.
Tudor.
Exactly. So you know what it's named after, right? Is that there was a house of Tudor in the British monarchy. And it was one of the different houses. I believe that it was not Princess Diana who was a descendant of the house of Tudor, if I'm not wrong. Anyway, it was one of the houses in the monarchy. It looks like everything we're talking about today is royalty. But okay. I just thought I'd bring that up. Yeah. Good morning, Kenyans, says Akale. Good morning to you. Macron came to lecture Kenyans on democracy while clutching the old colonial map like a family heirloom. He discovered we can heckle presidents instead of worshipping them. That's what it was.
National bad manners.
Where? I don't know. I have my reservations about that, and I think I will keep them just that, reservations. But, basically scold you, I guess, in one, and it rubs some people the wrong way, I guess. I had people saying, cannot come to my house and tell me how to operate. Good morning, Isa. Leo says, after being kicked out of West Africa, Macron has found home in Kenya with immunity from prosecution. Cry, my beloved motherland. Just like that. Batik in Naivasha. In Naivasha, there will be a replica. Batuk is
Nanyuki.
Is in Nanyuki.
Nanyuki.
Yeah. So you may be talking about something else, Leo. Good morning, guys, says Erica Ward. Good morning to you. Leomi says, Guten Morgen. Good morning to you. While Macron is shouting at us.
They don't want to be corrected.
No. No, don't
quote unquote national bad manners.
They said the Sahel, Burkina, Mali, and Co. are building intra-country railways, regional banking systems, and a common airline. Things are dire in Kenya. This is actually happening in Francophone West Africa. It is, where they're saying, okay, fine. We've relied on France for the longest time. It's about time we did it ourselves, and they're actually doing it.
They claim their central banks actually domiciled in France. And so
they don't claim. They are.
Yeah.
It's not a lie that a lot of their foreign reserves were domiciled in France. This is why the French economy took a hit when these 8, especially those specific 8 countries, said enough is enough.
So
Give us back our money. We are no longer a colony, Asante Sana. So this is, look, guys, that's the reason why they're looking Anglophone. But am I going to hop on that issue? Let's talk about it at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, 9.
Lest I be shouted at to respect. Ryan Tula Homer says, good morning, tuning from Nairobi, Kenya. Macron is yelling at Kenyans. It was so funny. The internet is divided. Some support him while others criticize him. People say, you know what, you can't have this thing where you are in a public event and then you're making noise and people are trying to, present something to you. I agree that there should have been respect for the performance. There should have been respect for the presentation. People should not have been making noise. And I'm going to leave it at that. How it was delivered in terms of the message is a totally different thing. But should people have been making noise during your presentation? No. Should the reprimand have come in the way in which it came? The jury's out.
The jury's out.
The jury's out, Ochanda.
You don't want to be quoted.
Nope. Not today, Moses. Joseph Akondo says, good morning, Ndu and team tuning from Chuda in Mombasa. The French president had to reprimand Kenyans audience for their lack of respect to others when making their presentations to a live show. Bogon Jerry says, French assimilation in Kenya now. Let's embrace them, but be extra cautious. Okay. Mtuflani, good morning to Binti Wamfalme. Good morning, Alan and the squad. Is Kenya getting goodies stolen from Francophone wealth? Sasa unaona vile umeenda umepeleka hii syllabus haraka sana, my friend.
Ndio.
Ndio sana.
For introduction.
Mtuflani, yes, reading my mind. Roger Sly says, Hamjamboni, wanna spice. Good morning to you. Stanley Gasha says, heckling 101. That's what was happening. Okay. Migwi Michael says, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Today, yes. In fact, Iha says we shall have a better day today, shall we? We shall. David Duncan O'Thee says, good morning, tuning in from Nairobi. Great to see you. I love it when we see folks that were not here on a regular, as well as a regular. Everybody who comes into the room, even if you're going to take a sneak peek, thank you so much for joining us and saying hello. I love that. Mutuflani, I'm still laughing at you. Andrew Shira says, good morning. Hiya, spicy people. Sikwa najua we are manufacturing phones and computers. Mbona we lie like this? Jesu, Vancouver, Washington is where you're tuned in. Kenya is manufacturing phones and computers.
No, we are yet to allocate that allocation.
Lakini mliambia watu jana mnafanya hivyo.
Maybe it's a slip of the tongue.
Slip of the tongue. Slip of the tongue is when I say it is 12th May, is 10th May when it is 12th May.
12th May. That's slip of the tongue.
Slip of the tongue, Ochanda, is not when I say that. Allah. I'm lying. Me now. I'm saying
no, you're not lying.
Oh, okay.
You're not lying.
I'm not lying.
You're not lying.
Okay.
Maybe you confused assembling and manufacturing.
Oh, right. You see now, that could be a Freudian slip. Wait, there's a confusion between manufacturing and assembling.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sindo.
Benefit of doubt.
Yeah. Let's always give the benefit of doubt. Andrew, Sindo. Okay. Smoky Bandit says, good morning to everybody. Good morning to you, my prince. I'm here too. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Another prince in the house. Royalty everywhere. Good morning. Karibu Sana. Auma Oyamo says, good morning. Good morning to you. Karibu Sana. Thank you for being here. Andrew says, someone tell Macron. Oh, you've called him Macron. With or without cheese. Kenya, we don't bow down to crap. Ooh, shouting at us won't work. We are Kenyans and Kenya is our business. Oh, lolo. I'm talking kuambia make noise during a presentation. Good morning. Please wish my mom happy birthday. She's turning 40. How old are you? Okay. Well, happy birthday. Yeah. Happy birthday to Jamil's mom. Tell us your mom's name and we could maybe do a little thing for your mom. It's possible you could be half your mother's age. Yeah. Very possible. I hear what you're saying. She's a single mother who works hard to take care of me and my siblings. Well, that's a beautiful story. Happy birthday, Mama Jamil. And may you have many more. And you can already hear from your sons that they honor you for the work that you do. And just after Mother's Day, you get to celebrate your birthday. And so her name is Mary Ann Wangeshi. A very happy birthday to you, Mary Ann. We've not met him, but Jamil sounds like an awesome young man. And it's just great that he can honor you in that way. And so happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Bilma Mamushi says, good morning, beautiful souls. A very good morning to you. I hope you're doing all right. Karibu Sana and everybody getting into the room. Ride on the existing protocols where we say a very warm welcome to you and thank you for being in the room this morning. We don't take it for granted that you join us every day. So Karibu, Karibu, Karibu. Can we sing Karibu? Karibuni Sana Kabisa. Let's take a quick break. We'll take a look at what's happening in the skies and on the roads. And then we'll come back and look into the headlines. Stay with us. 29 minutes 7. Don't go away. Good morning.
This is the Situation Room. This is the Situation Room. The only way to start your day.
Miwani land to Crossley Holdings, a private company. Suba MP Karoli Omondi says, upon being questioned by Parliament, company directors claimed they could not remember to whom they paid 752 million shillings to acquire the land. Our investigation has uncovered internal letters, missing court files, forged documents, and anti-corruption findings pointing to an attempt to privatize public land. Hold up. If I pay you today 500 shillings in my M-Pesa paying you, my friend,
I laminate that message.
I can't remember who I paid 500 bob to. Now you pay 752 million shillings, and then you tell me you've forgotten who you sent it to. Ata saa zingine, please don't look at people and think they're stupid.
Wanasema mchezo wa town.
Hey,
Game of urban areas.
Can't remember.
Yes.
That's why it's being called a circus.
752 million. Colossal.
Meanwhile, the person who supposedly now owns this land has never stepped in Kenya. Has never been here. And that there's a push for 9,394 acres to be owned by this company. You guys thought that the problems that you are dealing with is just some run-of-the-mill corruption over here and that, we'll be sorted out. Or more, water past Gary, as we are saying. We'll look into the details of that. This story I won't read for you, Kidogo, because it's a standard investigation, obviously, but it's something that's in the public eye. The people who sat around this table, you have Soy Pantuya, you have the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, you have Salim Mvurya. The entire cabinet is seated around this table.
The top decision-making organ.
Bas. The appendages of the executive.
And so they're actually accused of legitimizing the fraudulent transfer of public land from private entity.
Who has never stepped in.
And sidestepping a court process. Yeah. Because remember that this matter is actually in court. And
your legal advisor in the person of the Attorney General also sits in cabinet. My friends.
Yeah.
So you want to ask
Madam
yourself...
Dorcas Oduor?
Yes.
Yeah, she's here.
Many questions about then what happens.
She's the one sitting between the head of public service, Felix Koske, and Interior.
And Interior CS, Murkomen. I'm going to read the details of the story in just a minute. So just hold on to your horses because, in fact, do people eat popcorn in the morning?
They should.
Okay.
If they don't, they should.
Get your popcorn because this one is fun.
Yeah.
Let's look into other stories. 250 deals on the table as France expands Africa investment push. And I don't know it's because they like the curl of your hair or the shape of your nose, but okay. Macron, Ruto, Cyril pact on digital skills and youth empowerment. Okay. Prison authorities defend ban on digital learning tools behind bars, and they're saying, no, we're not going to use this behind bars because the possibility of then people using it for other things. Yeah.
But they're sneaking.
Somehow now, if they tell you that those people who send you those messages, whatever, are normally people who are serving sentences in specific prisons, then you must wonder how they get the gadgets. So a former, one would say, ballsy equity staff has sued the bank and the CEO over theft claims. They've sued the bank, the financial institution, as chief executive officer, accusing him of maliciously damaging their reputation to justify mass layoffs. Of course, it's continued to be a story that we see popping up.
It was an interesting story. Yeah, of course, the bank claimed that there was a haste.
Yeah.
And so to justify the layoff.
Yeah.
But now it turns out
that maybe it was not the
justification for just layoffs.
Yeah. So there's that story on page 4 and 5. How Miwani Sugar's vast land became the target of a 1 billion shilling shadow battle. We've just had Karoli Omondi in the studio. It's possible that we're going to have him back to have a conversation about this because it's a big one. Kioni rattles opposition leaders with Uhuru Gachagua warning. I don't know what Kioni's up to, but he seems to be telling his party, not in a roundabout way, but almost straightforward, that, you know what, guys, if we want to gain political ground, there are certain things we must do. You cannot be the cat in the corner who's waited to be petted and then please begging the cat to come and drink milk. And you want to be the lion of the jungle. It can happen. You have to come out, you have to be bullish, and you have to do it consistently.
True.
That's what he's saying. He's been saying it. And he actually said, I've been telling them, but it's almost like he's saying they don't want to listen to me. I don't
Even
know.
Gachagua accusing him of being a mole. Last week,
Yes, he
he's
did.
on record as saying that Kioni is a mole in the opposition. And so how it pans out, because maybe the boiling point might be Olkalau by election, because I remember that Jubilee has had a footing in Mount Kenya. DCP is fairly young. It's actually one of the youngest parties in the country, and especially Mount Kenya.
Yeah.
But it's now sort of bullish.
It is.
By virtue of its leader.
Because of Gachagua.
Yeah, because of
And this
Gachagua.
is what Kioni has been saying. He's
Kioni
been
saying
coming
no.
out. There's nowhere he has not gone.
Yes.
Inside somebody's house to serve tea, he will go.
Yeah, he will.
Inside where the forest, he will go. So he's basically saying, what is stopping us, Jubilee, from doing the same thing? Well, Ruto signed sweeping economic reform laws, and we saw some of these coming out yesterday. We'll look into the details of that. Of course, they'll come up in our conversations. Omari is a lawyer. His name is Dunstan Omari. He's now on the spot for filing a case without a complainant's consent. Okay. That's fun. Do you wonder if they had a conversation and maybe it was not documented? I don't know, man. Okay.
It's interesting.
The Kenya National Examinations Council is set to roll out digital exams next year in a push to modernize learning. Digital exam.
Digital.
Hey, okay. Good. No, it's good. Let me not laugh. Stop it. It's good.
Is it foolproof?
Look, Ochanda, let's just be
Okay.
grateful
Let's stick
that
to
we are progressing. Ebas. Sawa. We poke holes in it later. For now. WHO boss moves to calm global fears over hantavirus outbreak and says, no, people are already talking about lockdown. Hapana, kuna kazi ya kufanya bana. There's no lockdown that's happening. The Kenyan survivors of Ukraine's deadly drone war, a burial without a body for a man who died in Russia. These are some of the stories that we're going to see. I remember during the terrible Ethiopian Airlines crash, and one of my friends who passed away in that crash, we had to bury a banana. We had to bury a banana stump because obviously there's no body. And we see that happening again. It's symbolic, I understand.
the mock
but
burials.
I had to bury somebody.
We could just move on
Yeah.
for closure.
Indeed.
Yeah.
My friend Jahira Gitahi has written an article in the opinion pages today about the Shah debacle and says Kenya must reject donor-driven policy templates. They give you the money and so they decide how you're going to be able to do the thing. And she's saying, come on, no, can't happen like that.
They dictate the rules.
Yeah, and they're saying no, it can't happen. Kenyan opinion. The opinion pages are going across board. We're talking about AI by Bruno Tiato on the next page. So get yourself a copy of the Standard, and you can't if you run to the streets and they're all sold out. The Standard e-paper is available for you. Have the news in your pocket. Okay, sir. Over to the Nation or the Star. Which one do you have?
Well, the Nation, of course, the top story, the headline, CCTV, phone data to nail priest's killers. Remember that the priest who was killed in Nakuru, that's Julius Ndumia of the PCA Church. That's a Presbyterian Church of East Africa. His killing, his murder has actually really sort of been now turning into political fodder. Remember that the former DP, Rigathi Gachagua, yesterday and of course the days before, he's been accusing the security agencies of sleeping on the job and remaining tight-lipped. This is not an isolated case. Remember that there's a priest who was also killed in Elgeyo Marakwet last year.
Yes.
And so if he says that the clergy must be guaranteed of their security. So maybe we wait for the word from the security operators, whether they'll be nailing, because they're saying that 5 days later, signal from the stolen mobile phone led detectives to 2 suspects. During the cleric's burial yesterday, speakers demanded that police make public CCTV footage.
Yeah.
So maybe this is aimed at corroborating the available evidence, because if at all that place is installed with the third eye,
Yeah.
and the phone data is available, of course, just drawing triangulation, then This may actually help in nailing those who are responsible for the murder of the cleric.
Indeed.
On page 2, that story has actually been given a lot of space there. We can see it's quite political, especially on page 3, Gachagua and Kindiki clash in court over Ruto's call to doctor.
Yeah.
Quite interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I covered this story on Thursday.
Tell us.
Dr. Dan Gikonyo swore an affidavit, of course, detailing how Rigathi Gachagua was admitted at the hospital and linked President William Ruto, saying that he called him to inquire about his embattled DP then. Because remember that Rigathi Gachagua was just about to be cross-examined at the Senate before he fell sick. He was rushed to Karen Hospital. And so the doctor who was dealing with him, the cardiologist, is coming out to... Because, of course, when you swear an affidavit, it means that...
it's the truth.
It's the truth. If it turns out to be a lie, you're actually liable in court. But Kindiki, who succeeded Rigathi, is now turning out and really challenging that affidavit on several grounds. He says that it's time... It's actually... why now? Because it's now 2 years down the line, or 2 years down the line. It's actually now coming late in the day. He's actually contesting several issues in the affidavit. And remember that that case will be coming up tomorrow.
Yes, it comes up tomorrow
Wednesday.
for them to decide, isn't it?
Yes.
But what's the significance of Dr. Gikonyo having then been called by President William Ruto at the time that former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was in hospital? What's the significance of that?
The call, maybe it might be politicized because the submissions from the advocates for Rigathi Gachagua, they are saying that this was a parliamentary coup.
Yes.
The impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. And he says that by impeaching Gachagua, the president was settling a political dispute. And so why will you be settling political dispute by impeaching your deputy and then you call
to find out how he's doing?
To find out, are you doing it in good faith? That's how it will be politicized.
Of course.
It might take that route. And so tomorrow, the submissions will be quite interesting, and you should not miss out.
Tomorrow will be fun. That's for sure.
It will be fun tomorrow.
Yeah.
On the same page, LSK 6 recognition as key party in cybercrimes law case. On page 4?
Yeah.
Still France loses grip in West Africa, courts Anglophone states.
Of course.
What we've been talking in the morning. Yeah, they're looking now at the English-speaking. Because remember that the English-speaking countries of East Africa and, of course, at the larger side of down Africa, there have been so much in a clandestine sort of relationship with China, America, Akina Sweden. But Francophone, the French now feel, no, we are being wiped out. Even we shall later on even look at the distribution of the military bases in Africa. France is actually lagging behind.
I'm telling you, this is a geopolitical competition.
Yes.
Because the days of nationalism are here with us. Look at the progression of geopolitics since the year 2000, when it was globalization. There was the year 2000, we've crossed over from the 90s, and then it was globalization 2.0. Just getting into high school maybe. And then you thought, okay, here, the world is trying to be a global village. Everybody says, let's come and do this together. There was a rapprochement about international organizations. The United Nations now suddenly looked like the thing that you wanted to be a part of. Everybody was talking about regional integration. The EU started to come to life when people were coming together over things like this. That happened for about 15 years. And then now it was clear that there were certain economies that were coming up and that were going to essentially challenge the status quo of geopolitics. And then you got to the 2020s and into the 22, 23, 24. And then there was universal nationalism that started to creep up again. Germany, this same France that we're talking about. If the president today was Le Pen and not Emmanuel Macron, you would probably see a situation whereby they're saying, excuse me, we need to make France great again and not all this nonsense that you people are talking about. Really depending on who the leader is. But look at how the world has changed, where we went from globalization, where people like Friedman were talking about the world is a village, a global village. And now, where people are saying, no, there's got to be a man on top, and it has got to be me. The people that they're going to use to do that is us. And that is exactly what they're doing today. That's when we started to see things like UK and Africa, America and Africa, Russia, Africa Summit, China, Africa Summit. Now it's France's turn. That is exactly what they're doing. Because they realize that they're behind. And we're just sitting there, the girl in the corner say, come and court me.
You remember even the former French president, Jacques Chirac?
Yes.
He's on record saying that we've really put Africa into suffering. And
Yeah.
it's time to maybe stop that. But
So
remember that...
now you are sorry.
Are they really sorry? Remember that there was the first scramble and partition of Africa? Is this the second edition? Scramble and partition of Africa. Okay, on page 5, United Nations opened $340 million expanded Kenya office. Yesterday, the president was actually talking about this is the largest in terms of landmass space for the United Nations in the world. It's a good thing.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
On page 6, business leaders push for conducive environment to unlock investment. It continues on page 7, pictorials there. And, maybe these are snippets from the ongoing summit in Kenya. On page 8, jogging, language, and culinary politics.
All that happened yesterday, didn't it?
Yeah, the president is easy. In as much as we may read much into the gestures, it's easy. You could see he's jogging in the morning, reaching out to Eliud Kipchoge. But where is Sebastian Sawe? They should also introduce him to the world stage.
Sendio.
He should be in the middle of Sebastian and Eliud. Because you see, Eliud is now exiting the stage to beside. Because by virtue of age, we should now be ushering in Sebastian Sawe. He should be introduced because I saw his portrait in State House. Quite a good gesture. But he should be introduced to such world leaders, world stages, when they're actually jogging in the morning with the presidents. He should be there.
I agree.
Yeah. But he's an easy president.
Okay. It's okay. We'll take your...
Oh, number 10. Church wars, pastors in vicious fight for tithe, branches.
Fight for tithe.
Tithe. Nene Evangelism Center. Are you a fan of Pastor Nganga?
Please define fan.
Fan. Or do you watch his reels?
When I'm bored.
When you're bored?
It's comedy, man. It's great. If you're bored, watch those things you laugh, I'm telling you.
Oh.
I don't watch it for spiritual nourishment, but, you know, it's quite comical.
Not for nourishment, but of course, the contemporary church.
Oh, okay.
That's why. But by the way, on a lighter note,
Okay.
if you're very keen, people are living in drafts the mainstream churches. And they're actually going to churches like Pastor Nganga's, Pastor...
Where they serve Nyamachoma in the church.
Yeah, the 310 pastor. Pastor Kanyari.
Yeah.
Yeah, wanapiga story. It's like a guarding and counseling. They offer refuge.
Okay.
Remember Naipe? That lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that church has now said
Mainstream
they
church
don't
cannot
want.
welcome that lady.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
But even this church where she went, they said they're not messing with her anymore.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah, on page 12, guns, camels, and fear inside Kitui violence. Kitui has been hitting headlines in the last 3 weeks.
It has.
Yeah.
For a place which is never really volatile in terms of these kind of things.
Kitui has been quite calm.
One must ask what's going on.
I hope the security agencies will swing into action and, of course, avert any further loss of life.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a snapshot quick because I want to look into the story real quick in the Standard. But untold story of housing, fisheries and coffee boom. The country's economy expanded by 4.6% last year is what the Star is reporting today. Shem Lumumba, a.k.a. Coach OT, he didn't let an injury cut short his dream, living it through others. That's never say die. Fears of bribery in 27 election as campaign funding rules stall. Why are the rules stalling? Bring out the rules. Let it be done and dusted because you only got about a year. Come on, folks. Chop, chop. Minor wins as court overturns dismissal on awards. Him 600,000 shillings after the accident. So that's some of the stories making headlines there. To a minor after an accident, 600,000 shillings, that it was not actually his fault. Other headlines that we're looking at. Kenya's informal housing upgrades attracts investors. Okay. So as those upgrades are coming in, people want to put their money behind it, is what we are saying. Government clarifies that child care institutions are not closing down. That's okay. I think they're important in terms of a welfare system, that you need their children who need to be taken care of in a welfare state, especially if they don't have caregivers. But by virtue of that, you cannot let them run to the ground. These are children. You must act. If you're going to have them open, then they must run optimally. I am of the opinion that if you're not going to do it right, don't do it. Do it right. We shouldn't have situations, because one of our KTN reporters who did the story talking about what actually happens to children in the care service, what the kind of abuse that goes on there. If you're going to have an institution that's caring for children because they're least vulnerable, they're most vulnerable, do it right, or don't do it at all. That's an indictment, heavy one, on people where we have children being bought by people who are not Kenyans. We have them being mistreated, not fed, all kinds of other things happening. And I'm happy that the government has clarified that they will not shut down these institutions. But they have a further burden of care where they have to ensure that these children are properly taken care of. And that the people that are put under, whose care that they're put under, are actually, worth their salt, to make sure that there's no funny things going on. Mm-hmm. We want you to get a copy of the Standard today. If not, get a copy of the Standard get the Standard e-paper, because you want to. I will not be able to tell you this whole story, but let me give you the snippets of it. How Miwani Sugar's vast land became the target of a multi-billion shilling shadow battle. Cue the music, because this is going to be fun. A fierce battle is raging over one of Kenya's largest public land assets, with a powerful cabal of state operatives, figure out who those are, and private interests maneuvering to seize 9,394 acres of the Miwani Sugar Mill's property. Internal government correspondence and court documents have exposed a bid orchestrated from the highest levels of the executive to legitimize a fraudulent land acquisition and transfer a colossal public asset to private hands. At the center of the controversy is a contested title deed held by the obscure Kisumu-based company Crossley Holdings Limited, which investigators have described as being a fake title deed and has rose from a questionable auction and a void court judgment. This week-long investigation delves into a secretive government directive, the courageous stand of the Miwani Sugar lawyers, and the shadowy network of powerful individuals, including Head of Public Service Felix Koskei, who is accused of pulling the strings to hand over this ancestral land in Kisumu County. The foundations of Kenya's sugar industry were laid in Miwani in 1924 when Australian sugar magnate George Russell Myers established the Victoria Nyanza Sugar Company, which farmed approximately 15,000 hectares. By 1928, Kenya had 5 sugar factories located at Kibos, Miwani, Muhoroni, Ruiru, and Ramisi. This story goes on to tell you how some powerful individuals want in on that land, and how some people have gotten selective amnesia when it comes to 752 million shillings that they paid. They cannot remember when they paid it. They cannot remember to whom it was paid. They cannot remember anything about that transaction. But what they do know is that they paid it. So this land that should essentially be assisting farmers and making sure that they can farm the sugar, crush the sugar, and sell it on the market for profit, somebody wants in on it.
Somebody wants it.
Somebody wants it.
I told you I come from the kingdom, and we also have a sugar miller, Mia's Sugar Company.
Yes.
And I know how the architecture of how such lands actually acquired, because people actually moved from those lands.
Exactly.
So you should hold it in trust. You should not transfer it. You should not legitimize. You should not aid and abet its loss.
Get a copy of the Standard. Look into that story and see who's pulling what. David Ogonga's written the story, a week-long investigation. You want to get a copy of that. We'll continue with more. Good morning, 7 a.m.
The latest news from around the world. 94.4. This is The Situation Room. The only way to